Hey everybody, so this is a video for week 7 and we'll start off with some differences. And so the first one is how they have street sweepers here. So people that actually have like brooms and are cleaning the streets, and those are called bodenderos. And I actually learned that from my Spanish class. And speaking of Spanish, I got an 89 on my first Spanish test and like an A on the verbal part. So half of it was written and half of it we had to have a conversation with another student. So I did pretty good, and I didn't study that much, so that's good. And I also found out that their firefighters are actually volunteers. I'm not too sure why that is, but that's just the way it is, and it's like really respected if you are a volunteer. I might have said this one, but I'm not sure, so I'll say it again. You tip the people that bag your groceries. So you give them like 10%. It's not that much, but you do tip them, something that we do back home. Um, the other day I was talking with Fernando about, I don't know how this came up. We were talking about fried chicken, and I was asking him if he had it in Korea, and he was like, "Yeah, it's like something that's actually really popular." And oh, this is what they call it over there in Korea. It's chenem, no, chenenem. I think I'm saying it wrong, but it's something like that. And then I was like, "Well, what do y'all eat it with?" And he was like, "Uh, le letiche." And I was like, lettuce? And he was like, no, letiche. And I was like, I have no idea what that is. And so he showed me a picture, and I don't even think we have like this sprout or, yeah, whatever it is in the US. It's like it looks like a carrot, but not really. I don't know, it's something like a potato slash carrot, something like that. But I was like, no, we don't have these. And he's like, yeah, we eat these with that or red potatoes. And I was like, yeah, we usually eat it with French fries or I was like, we have this place called Chicken and Rice, which is pretty good. But yeah, so that was some differences I found out. And let's see, an update on my internship. He's been saying like, yeah, my partner's gonna email you, and I haven't gotten anything, but they run on Chilean time, so that's always really late. um, so we'll see what happens with that. And speaking of Chilean time, yeah, theirs is like everything's like really, it's basically like Mexican time but worse. Like they come even later, which is good for me, but there are certain things that are on time, like the bus, which I've missed a couple times, and classes start on time. There are stuff that starts specifically, but if they're like, hey, yeah, if Chileans are like, yeah, I'll meet you here at this time, it's gonna be like an hour later or something like that. So um, throughout this week, it was kind of raining most of the week, at least like a good 3 days. So I didn't do too much, but in the beginning, I did go volunteer at Valpo Surf, and this week I volunteered in the office, and it was like for a few hours, and I was just like editing photos and making birthday cards. It wasn't that fun, so from now on, I'll probably just be volunteering with the kids and teaching English because that was so much better. And let's see, yeah. And while I was learning, like throughout the week, I just went to school, and on the weekend, I just went to some friend's house like nearby, um, and like walking there. Well, one of the days is like kind of sprinkling, and I was surprised like people were still outside. Like most of the restaurants kind of have like these tents on the streets, and they were just sitting under. Some places had like heaters, so people were outside eating, walking about like a normal day. And like back home, if it's raining, everyone's like, I'm gonna stay inside and watch TV all day. So that was kind of different. But the other days where it was like raining a little bit more, there was less people outside. But they said it doesn't rain here that much, so that's pretty good. And like also walking on the streets, like it seems like everyone's like always in a hurry to get where they're at. And like when you're crossing the street, of course, there's like red and green signs of like when to cross, but people were standing like right at the corner, like, and there's puddles there, and I was like, ooh. And I was like kind of standing away because like I actually thought of my dad because when there's like puddles and it's raining, my dad wants to drive really fast by these puddles and splash people. So I was like, I'm not gonna stand right there. Um, so yeah. And then I did buy my ticket to Buenos Aires. We're going the first weekend in May. So yeah, and then we booked it took us like 5 hours to book an Airbnb. Not really, we were just talking the whole time, but we did book an Airbnb as well. So all of that is settled. So we just have to go. I'm really excited for that. Um, oh yeah, during the week, the host mom's brother came in town, and I actually didn't know it was her brother at first. I thought it was just like a business guy or like someone else staying at the house because there's like a third room they use for like other students or like people doing business like throughout the month or something. That's the way he explained it to me. But yeah, so I just thought it was just like one of those again. And so the next day we had like dinner together, and he was like talking to me. He mostly spoke Spanish, and he said something like sister, and I was like, oh wait, you're her brother. And then I actually saw the resemblance. They actually looked really alike, but I didn't notice it at first. And he was really nice, and I actually like when people come to dinner or like family friends because the food is always so much better. Um, it's like I mean, anytime you always have guests, the food is always better. And he was telling me how he lives in Atacama, and like, because I might go there in a couple weeks, or I'm not too sure when, but soon. And he was like, just tell me when you're down there, and I'll help you, like, show you around and stuff. And so that was really cool. And we also had this dessert called calzones rotos. So, if you know what that is in Spanish, basically it translates to broken underwear. But they're really good. They're just like similar to a donut, but not shaped like a donut at all. They're kind of like bow ties, and they had powdered sugar on top, and they're really good. So that was that. And then, let's see, yesterday I told my mom for the first time about my plan for the end of the school year for here. So in the beginning, I thought that classes were going to July 12th, but they're not. They're going to July 18th. The Chileans in July 12th. I mean, sorry, July 18th is my flight back home. Chileans in July 12th, and our school actually ends June 24th. And so as soon as I found that out, which was like a week after we got here, I was like, oh, like, because when I first got here, everyone was talking about how like they traveled before they got here and like how many places they've been to. And then as soon as I found that out, I was like, I want to travel. And when I first coming to Chile like that, I wasn't even really thinking about that. Like, while I'm in Chile, I'm gonna go here, here, and here. I was like just like grateful and happy to be just going to Chile to be doing this, to be, yeah, in the study abroad program and whatnot. But as soon as I found that out, I was like, oh my God, I need to travel. So yeah, I told her about that, and she was, it's not that she was, well, yeah, probably not too happy. She was like, what? And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna be backpacking Peru for like 2.5 weeks. And she's like, backpacking? She's like, you're not gonna have a house, you're not, you're gonna be living on the streets. And I'm like, and she was like, well, what is backpacking? I was like, oh God, like please someone like update her, or yeah, on traveling. Like first she didn't know what a hostel was, and now she didn't know what backpacking was. So yeah, that's my plan. And I also need to figure out my rent situation because I don't want to pay for the last month. So hopefully I don't have to, but we'll see. Yeah, so that's my plan. I'm actually going to buy my plane ticket soon to Peru. I was actually going to do Bolivia, Peru, but I'm not too sure about Bolivia now because there's like a $160 fee for US citizens if we want to visit. I'm not too sure why that is. There was actually a fee like that to Argentina, but I don't know if y'all know, but Obama came to Argentina like a few weeks ago, and then after that, they went. The U.S. and Argentina wanted to have a better relationship, so they actually dropped the $160 fee, so I don't have to pay that when I go, which is a good thing. But the Bolivia still has that, so I'm not too sure if I still want to do Bolivia. At first, I just wanted to do it just because I was like, oh, I could do two countries at once, but Bolivia is like a really small town and there's like not much to do. There is some stuff, so I just have to figure out if I still want to do Bolivia. But I'm for sure doing Peru. And she was like, well, what if you like don't get your room situated? And I'm like, well, it looks like I'll be in debt because I'm still going no matter what. Like, it's I have to. So yeah. And then the phone died, and then she texted me. She was like, "Yeah, Megan's phone died," and she's like, "Good," because I was about to cry. I was like, "Oh God!" So then I told her the the line. I was like, "I have wings now, so you have to let me fly." And she was like, "You're stupid," basically. She didn't tell me that, but yeah. So yeah, that's my plan, and yeah. And so also for the rest of this week, I have a soccer game this weekend, and we haven't really talked about it much, but I found out from the other girls that like I said before, there's like 20, I don't know, 20 something girls on the team. Not on, I don't know, on the team, whatever it is, but he's going to be picking 12 girls to play at the game, which is so much better. And the game is actually this weekend. So I have practice today, so I will fill y'all in on that and how that goes. And I'm pretty sure I'm going to a salsa class tomorrow, so that should be interesting. And I will keep y'all updated next week. Bye, guys.